Welcome back to Golden Hour Live. Our next guest is Amanda Goetz. She's a driven entrepreneur who founded the wellness company House of Wise in her garage during the pandemic, sold it in 2022, all while homeschooling her 3 children as a single mom. From a small Midwest town to New York City, she excelled academically as a first-gen college grad and shifted from hustle culture to intentional living after a challenging divorce. She shares her journey through her popular newsletter, Life's a Game, inspiring over 150,000 followers and gaining media recognition from Forbes to Access Hollywood. Welcome, Amanda.
Thanks for having me. This is amazing.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good.
This is incredible. I
love
can't
it.
complain.
Really can't complain. So let's just dive in. Does building an audience work for B2B companies, or do you think this is just a B2C and creator trend?
It absolutely works for B2B companies. People buy from people.
Yeah.
And the emotional connection, now more than ever, is important. So creating an emotional connection with the people behind the brands. I mean, Morning Brew did this when they started to really build brands around their initial authors. And I think B2B companies can take a page out of that book and start to build brands around people that can access the buyers in different companies.
That's an interesting point, because I think a lot of brands, in B2B influencer marketing or creator marketing, we're hearing that you should partner with more creators, right? But there's this element of it where it's still supposed to stay human to human instead of plugging in an influencer or a creator instead of an ad.
Yeah.
So that's a really great point.
Well, so whenever I'm working with a brand, so I was a CMO 4 times, and now I'm on this other side. And whenever I'm working with a brand, I get to kind of wear both hats and help them understand that this isn't just about, if you're working with a creator, it's not just about ad placement. It's about taking somebody on that journey from pain point to solution to testimonial. And so I always say, is it an octopus or a swordfish? Meaning you don't want to hit them one time, you want to hit them 7 or 8 times and take them on that journey. And to go back to why it's important to build an audience for a B2B company, the amount of marketers that follow me and that my content resonates, maybe they're a mom, maybe they are, burning out. They're following me, and when I start talking to them about a pain point I have as a marketer, even though my newsletter is not about necessarily marketing, they're going to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question. So you mentioned audience marketing, building an audience. For the companies that have been building an email list over the past, let's say, decade or 15 years, through ebooks, downloads, other things like that, how is what you're talking about different than that?
Well, I think if you've been building an email list and you haven't put on the lens of, now I'm a media company and I can provide so much value. And for me, thinking about myself as now a media company and building content pillars and bringing somebody along on a journey of, what's your pain point? Here's a solution. Every B2B company should be thinking about newsletters and turning those emails into a long-term journey with a person.
So where would you start with building a newsletter? Because I think one of the main challenges that marketers run into is email saturation. So how do you stand out?
You have really great content. And the way to have really great content is to know exactly what your audience's pain points are and build it outside of just your value proposition. Understand what their pain points are in their life, create an emotional connection, appeal to them as a human, not just a buyer. And that's going to make you stand out.
I love it. So if B2B companies decide they want to start using more creators, where should they start? Like with their own founders and CEOs, somebody external?
I think the easy answer is always, you start to build an audience around the people that you have in your company. But I also think there's 2 ways to approach it. You can hire creators to be creators in residence. And I still think this is still very new, but creators are looking for long-term partnerships. They don't want to be selling to a ton of people. They want those longer-term partnerships. So I think creators in residence, still a new thing that we haven't seen a lot of, but I think it's going to happen more and more. And then I think the second thing is you want to find people that hit that perfect Venn diagram of speaking to your audience authentically, not just selling. And so if they can get, I would look at open rates, but I would also look at conversion rates. How have they been able to move those people down a purchase funnel? That's what they should be looking at.
So as a creator yourself, what do you look for in the most valuable long-term partnerships? What's your criteria?
I'm looking for someone who understands the concept of the octopus, not the swordfish. that they want to not just buy this like ad space at the top of my newsletter, but they want to do 3 newsletters over the course of 3 months that leads to a webinar where I can teach people and get in front of them and show them how I'm using the thing to make my life easier or better, and then follow up in 2 months. So I always say that it's at least a 3-month partnership, if not 6.
Okay.
I
Would-
l-
oh, go ahead.
I love the fact that you're talking about like creators and influencers in this longer term mindset, because
Yeah.
especially in B2B, I think that a lot of companies try to tell the creator what to do or like
Yeah.
instruct them on how to sell a product. So for companies that actually want to implement this and like think about how do I work with a creator in a longer term fashion, like how do they pitch that? Like how do they manage that creator? Because a lot of marketers, it's like, all right, do this, 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 and this. How do you let them do their own thing, but also
It happens in the kickoff call. When you get on the phone with a creator, you first get curious about what is their mission, what are their products and services that they're selling, what is their audience like, what are their pain points. Really feel like you are coming in to partner with them, not just instruct them what to do, because at the end of the day, they have put a lot of time and energy into building this audience, and they're protective. I'm protective of my subscribers. I have built trust with them. So if you're coming in and saying, I want you to say it exactly like this, that's not going to work because it's not how I would say it.
Yeah, and I think there's something interesting here where when companies do try to tell the creator exactly what to say,
It doesn't work.
and the creator has already built that audience and like they trust them, they know their authentic voice, and then they start pitching like the company lines. I think there's also it works against the company, because at least for me, like I start seeing creators that I've known and loved forever, and now they just start pitching, and
Yeah.
I have like disdain for the company for almost ruining the creator that I love. So.
It's we are developing an allergic reaction to ads. And if it does not feel authentic and aligned with the person and genuinely coming from them because they're super pumped about what that thing has done for them, we immediately get an
Yeah.
allergic reaction.
And we can tell too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important part of creative freedom. When you are going to work with influencers or creators, you're working with them because you love what they've built.
Yep.
And you see the value in the audience they've built and the trust and credibility that they've built by pouring into their audience and their following so much. And so when you try and take that control away from them, what's the point of working with them?
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. Any final thoughts for creators that are looking to partner with brands long term, or brands that are starting to dive into long term partnerships?
Create your dream list of content creators that you want to work with, and make sure that they look at it from a marketing lens. Make sure that they have a marketing psychology around what they're doing, because many creators that are new to the market, new to the creator economy, they're still in this mindset of, oh, I have ad space, just get it in there. So find somebody who understands the value of marketing psychology and what it means to take somebody on this purchase funnel journey, and then you'll have a magic relationship.
Awesome. What's next for your newsletter?
Just continuing to grow it. I have a book coming out next year. So yeah, lots of exciting things happening.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to
Congrats.
follow
Thank you.
along.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining
All right,
us
we'll
today.
see you guys later.
See you later.